Hello and welcome back to another Toronto video. In today's one, we're at the TMNT, the UK magazine from Panini, issue number 5. And this one is called Slug, and this one we're dealing with a bank robber who tries to get into a bank, however he goes into a laundromat, sees Mr. Murakami, and then at the end like the name suggests, he gets turned into a slug, and oh boy, this issue is yeah, this is a weird one because I feel like this one fits really well into the 2012 series, but at the same time, I don't want to say anything bad about it because it's a really good issue for what it's supposed to be. It fits really well into 2012 stuff. I just wish that this issue was actually a bit longer, if anything, because I feel like this story just fits really well within the 2012 universe with what it's trying to do with mutants, bringing other characters such as Mr. Murakami and all the other stuff, which it feels like a very early 2012 kind of story, but I think it works to its advantage, and it just works so well for what it's trying to do. I think the only problem with it is just that it feels a bit too short in some bits, where I feel like had this been an actual full episode for the actual show itself, I thought they would probably explain a little bit more why Turtles are going to the Krang base and that kind of stuff, because that's another bit which they don't properly explain. And I do feel like also this was an actual 2012 issue from IDW. They also would have done the same, where we will try to put a bit more story into it other than just, oh, it's a bank robber and you accidentally stumbled across turtles. So it's not bad. I just wish there was a lot more to it. But yeah. Okay, yeah, so with the first few pages, we do get to see this guy called Slug. He's trying to attempt to go into a bank. However, when he breaks down the wall, he unfortunately goes into Mr. Murakami's shop. And I must admit, I'm actually really happy about this page, just because Mr. Murakami, he's a very nice character, I want to say. One which you don't really get to see too often in the actual show. And from what I can remember, you don't actually get to see him in the IW comics, so it was quite a nice surprise to see him here. And also, like what I was saying earlier with, I think it was issue 1 I was saying, where it's to tie things back to the show, bringing in references from the actual show itself, with characters and stuff like that, which even the show itself, or even the IW comics, never actually properly did. And it's actually quite nice to see them actually really expand upon this universe and make it feel like it's a much more lived-in universe, and bring back other characters, which never really get to see too often. So it was nice to see that. I mean, despite it only being one page where it was in, but it was still quite a nice surprise, and really happy to see him in this bit. And I would like to see him a lot more because I do like the character, but if this was the only thing where I did get to see of him, then I'll take it, I suppose. Well, because I have to, really, but yeah. And then after that, we do get to see the Turtles. They're fighting the Krang in this warehouse, and we do get to see Mikey's playing around, which, yeah, I mean, what did you really expect? And then after that, we do get to see Slug. He attempts to break into the bank again. However, he unfortunately breaks into a laundromat, and I'll say that is a little bit weird on this page, just because, at least with the Miss Murakami shop, he asks for noodles instead of the money, because, yeah, but also at that point, why didn't he take the money as well? But anyway, he took the noodles from Miss Murakami shop, which is somewhat understandable, get free food. But with the laundromat, he takes the laundry from the people, which I don't know what to really say to that. I mean, he's a scummy git if he actually took all that stuff and actually is going to wear it, all that kind of stuff. Why? How bad is your life? You have to go around stealing clothes. But yeah, so after that we do get to see the Turtles. They are continuing fighting the Krang a little bit more, and this is when we do get to see Slug. He joins into the fight, and Raph gets a bit excited for this just because he can go off and finally fight someone who isn't a Krang. However, they do use Slug to his advantage by taking down all the Krang, which was quite nice to see him actually be a bit useful. And if anything, I'd say that this was a little bit disappointing as well for this bit here as well, just because I was somewhat expecting that this fight would be, an actual fight between Slug and actual Turtles, but I didn't probably get to see that. And I do remember in this issue, way back when, oh god, this sounds really old for me. But yeah, I remember reading this, and I was really thinking that this could be Harden for this version of 2012, just change the name because he hasn't appeared in the show yet. And oh god, I was so wrong. If only they listened to my suggestions, we would have had a better Hun. But the Hun that we did get was a lot worse. But this one, he would have been a lot better. Why didn't they make this guy Hun? It was right there to make him perfect. But either way, we do get to see him. He tries to steal some mutagen just because, well, he's stolen from everything else, why not steal from here? And when he's walking away with the mutagen, it does backfire on him just because the mission goes off as he walks away because he slips on something, and well, the mission goes onto him, and because the last thing they touched was a slug, he gets turned into a slug, and oh god. Yeah, I mean, I'd say that, like, with the design, I mean, I don't know what to really expect. It's just a slug with eyes, or more humanized eyes and that kind of stuff, so I can't really complain there just because it was doing its job. It's just, I was somewhat expecting a little bit more uniqueness compared to all the other mutants, because I'd say that at least with all the other mutants, when you look at like snakeweed and spider bites, so like coming out around that sort of time, where they were like, you know, very close to what they were supposed to be with the animal which, or plant, all that kind of stuff, which were like mutated from, but yet they were different enough to be its own different thing that you could tell that like what kind of thing it would like was DNA from. But here it's just a slug. There's not really too much to it, and over the whole point is just that, you know, it's just a one-off issue where I don't get to see these characters again. Understandable, that's fine, but at least make the design a little bit more interesting and a bit more fun other than just, he's a slug, so he's just gonna look like one. Yeah, but then on the final page, which I must admit I did quite enjoy, where you get to see Slug, he's trying to walk over, and Matos is getting more disappointed and a bit bored with just waiting for Slug to come over, but like they end up leaving. I do quite enjoy that bit. It really plays into the comedy aspects of this series, which I must admit I do quite enjoy quite a bit. It was actually really quite funny, I can't deny that, but yeah, this issue, like I said, I feel like this issue works really well for this version of the Turtles. It just does everything right. I think the only problem with this one, like I said before, is the fact that this issue does feel a bit too short, and I do feel like had they properly expanded upon some stuff like why the Turtles actually going after Krang and that kind of stuff in this issue, it would have helped the story feel a bit more like longer and all kind of stuff, other than just, oh, the Turtles are just there fighting Krang with no real reason to it. I'm sure there was, but, you know, we didn't get like an actual reason to it in this issue. But yeah, this issue was a fun one. I do have some nostalgia with it and that kind of stuff, so I feel like I'm being a bit biased with this one, but at the same time, it was a good issue. I just wanted to see a lot more. I feel like that's honestly like the best kind of thing you can actually hear from something. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below what you think about this issue. Do you like it? Do you not? What do you think about Slug's design? I've got a feeling that some people are probably just going to have no opinions about it because, well, it's just a slug, so yeah. But yeah, that's going for today, guys. Isn't please share, subscribe, and stuff. Goodbye, yo, bye.